How to be happy in every moment, a story that will stay in your heart. True happiness, ISNT, found in perfect success, found in how you survive the hard ones. Some people carry peace, not because life was kind to them, but because they chose to be kind to life. This is the story of an old woman who lost everything and still chose joy. Once upon a time, in a quiet village, nestled between green hills and golden fields, there lived an old woman known to all for her gentle nature and glowing smile. She wasn't wealthy, she didn't wear fancy clothes, but when she walked through the village, it felt like spring had arrived because, wherever she went, hearts felt lighter. Everyone loved her. She was the person people went to when they felt lost, broken, or simply in need of a little light. No matter what happens, you smile, you never seem sad. Don't you ever feel pain? Don't things ever go wrong for you? Her presence was like a warm blanket on a cold day, soft, comforting, and always there. His shoulders were heavy with burdens, his eyes tired from searching for meaning in a world that often seemed unfair. One afternoon, a young man from the village approached her. "Ma'am," he asked gently, "how are you always so happy? I've watched you for years." The old woman looked at him with eyes that had seen much and still chose to shine. "Some days bring laughter, others bring tears. But I've learned that real happiness doesn't depend on what happens around me. It comes from within. We didn't have enough money for proper treatment. We tried everything, medicine, prayers, hope, but it wasn't enough." She said softly, "My dear, life is a journey filled with both sunshine and storms." The young man looked puzzled. "I couldn't see the sun, couldn't feel joy. I thought I would never smile again. How can someone be happy when bad things happen?" he asked. She nodded slowly, then invited him to sit beside her beneath a blooming tree. "I saw hearts that still needed love, hands that still needed holding. We didn't have much, but we had enough. Our home echoed with laughter, meals were shared with love, and the simple moments meant everything. A true one, a kind husband, wonderful children. I'll tell you a story," she said. "When I was young, I had a small, beautiful family. But one day, everything changed. How do you stay so strong? My husband fell gravely ill. He passed away. That day shattered me. I cried for days, locked inside my grief, feeling like the world had ended. But then, one day, I looked into my children's eyes, or I can choose to focus on what remains. And I saw something. Pain is part of life, but suffering is a choice. I can choose to focus on what's lost. Sometimes, it's the warmth of sunlight on my face. Sometimes, it's the laughter of a child. Other times, it's the simple joy of still being alive." Then he whispered, "No matter how small, there's always something good." I saw life still waiting. That was the day I understood. I had a choice. I could stay broken forever, or I could rise not for myself, but for those who still needed me. The young man was silent, moved by her words. "But how did you do it?" he finally asked. "How did you get back to happiness?" The old woman smiled. "Every morning," she said, "I open my eyes and say to myself, today is a new day. Find one reason to be grateful." The young man asked, "Even one is enough," she replied. "But what if something terrible happens again?" he asked. She nodded knowingly. "Yes, life is unpredictable. Bad times will come again. But I remind myself of this truth. This too shall pass. Happiness isn't about having a perfect life. It's about having the strength to see beauty even when life feels broken." The young man sat quietly for a long moment. "Thank you. You've opened my eyes." He left that day carrying her words like a seed planted deep inside his heart, and something began to grow. He started noticing the little joys he used to ignore. The taste of warm tea, the sound of birds at dawn, the kindness of a stranger. Even on hard days, he searched for one reason, just one to smile, and slowly, his heart changed. Others in the village noticed too. The old woman's wisdom spread like a breeze, soft but powerful. People began to realize that happiness didn't come from getting everything right. It came from how you chose to live. Moral of the story: life will never be perfect. There will always be pain. There will always be uncertainty. But inside every day, no matter how dark, there is always a little light. True happiness isn't something life gives you. It's something you give yourself. You can choose to stay in the darkness, or you can look for the light. Choose to smile. Choose to rise. Choose gratitude, even when it's hard. Because happiness is a decision we make, not once, but every single day. If this story touched your heart, let it remind you to look for that one small reason to be grateful today. And for more soul-healing stories that awaken your strength and light, subscribe to Whispers Within, where every tale helps you live with more peace, more joy, and more meaning.